coming, and for agreeing to speak to everyone, share a little bit more thoughts about some specific areas within the industry that we'd like to target today. And firstly, I'd love to share your name and what kind of in the industry, what exactly would you identify yourself as?
I'm Kirk Oskowski. I run this theater. I'm the artistic director and also the founder of Chain NYC Film Festival.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Lipp. I'm the director of the BAFF Film Festival here in New York City.
I'm David Irwin. If you Google me and put Dark Knight, you'll see an article that was written just recently. But only Chris Nolan and I directed the Heath Ledger as the Joker, because at the time I was the executive creative director of DC Comics. So for 17 years I spent my time building the heroes across every platform you can imagine, from gaming to all movies, animation. So I worked with some of the best talent throughout the world. And so then Hasbro headhunted me and asked me to do the same thing for Transformers. So I moved the Michael Bay bombastic stuff, wrote the universe Bible. So I was able to move it into creating more heartful stories with developing the Bumblebee movie and a bunch of animation for them, telling origin stories, etc. Worked on G.I. Joe, all these other stuff. Then hated living in Rhode Island, moved to I was traveling back and forth from Rhode Island to LA, but ended up moving back to New York because people like you, energetic, lots of creative. I mean, this is where you don't have to deal with people are very direct, so, and honest, and that's what I love about New York. Yeah, I know.
You're a normal fucking state.
So then recently I was the publisher of a magazine called Heavy Metal, which is the old magazine from 1977. If you see pictures of Ridley Scott's production office, you will always see tear sheets from Heavy Metal. But it allowed me to get in touch with Zack Snyder, who I worked with on Watchmen, and because he's a huge heavy metal fan. So it goes on and on. So now I'm going to do what my buddy from Warner Brothers, Dan Lin, did, which was move from being a studio guy into producing, and from I want to direct as well, because I've already directed. So that's in a nutshell.
And that's some amazing stuff. I mean, you can't beat that. I don't know. I loved it. What happened to me is I met Meyer Lansky. I was 18 years old. I was on a beach in Miami. I was a poor kid. My parents were college professors. I ended up on a beach. I met this guy, and he says, "I'm going to put you in a business. I'm going to put you in a dress business." I said, "Hey, what am I going to do? Drag queen?" I had no fucking idea. So he put me in a dress business. I built probably the biggest dress company in New York, and I love designing clothes. I loved it. And then I always acted. That first thing, I got Dr. Cambridge when I was 17. I met him. We were getting high together next to Hippopotamus. And you would know this place. Even your mother would know. Your grandparents would know Hippopotamus. But and he put me in Cotton Comes to Harlem, and I always liked doing that shit. I was holding up the sign, I was on walk on, but he loved me a lot. And all of a sudden, I retired like 30 years ago. I was a very lucky guy. I was good at what I did. So I retired, and I said, "Hey, what am I going to do?" I'm sitting by the pool in Old Westbury. I did really well, and I'm sitting, I said, "What am I going to do?" I always loved acting. I love movies. I just loved it, and I ended up in the movies. I ended up going down to the Spotted Pig one day, and going back a long time ago, but I was doing other things in between, and I met Sabo, who fucked it all up, but and the Stafford brothers, and we all got along good, we got along great, and I started doing all the videos for him, and I did all his music videos, and I did that TV station, did that radio station, I was doing that for him. I didn't get paid for anything. I mean, I was the greatest guy you could hire. It cost you nothing, I just won the part. And we did that, and then he wrote the movie. We decided we were gonna do this thing, Uncut Gems, and then I was given the contract to be Howard in the movie. And then I got this stupid disease, and but meanwhile, Adam brought along 20 million with him. So I mean, I wasn't bringing 20 million, but I was living a good life, you know. I was able to invest in movies, but we ended up doing that, and I memorized the script for Uncut Gems. I even got the script on my phone. I mean, when he gave it to me 5 years before the movie came out, and it was just great. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been an actor, but when you're on a set with all these people, they become like your family. Like Keith is my best friend. You know, Keith, that blue, he just had a blue animal away in the movie. Don't worry, he didn't kill him. Just giving some inside information. It scattered his brain a little bit. Don't worry about it. So they're working on a series now. They're working on a second film. I know Keith is out. He just did Pony. Keith is great. I mean, the guy is amazing. He just did Ponytail with out in California, and he just got done with that movie. We just did a movie called Ephes, which is a baseball movie, which I loved. I had the best stuff in my fucking life. But we got the money. They got like 25 million for the movie, so it's gonna come out. You know, the thing with this thing is, I mean, I made a dress, boom. I gave it to the contract. I had made like 10 minutes, you know. Hey, put the thing here, put the thing here, do this. I'm gonna hack your hand thing, do this. It's done. You get into a movie, you could be dead by the time the movie comes out. It's hard, you know. Because by the time they edit it, by the time it's done, it takes them 2 years to get done. A real movie takes at least a year to do, a year and a half. By the time the editing goes through and they put it all together, it's forever. I mean, you do all. I did so much shit I did. And I haven't seen anything, but it's going to be coming out. And I really love it. I mean, you got to love something, you know, and you got to be able to afford to be able to do it. You know, I got to really say, if you can't afford to be in this game, don't even get into it. I mean, almost all those people you see in Hollywood, they all got money. Their parents are all rich. They're all trust fund motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You know, that's what they are, and they got the money, so they can do it. You know, starting like the old days, it's not like that because there's a lot of legacy now. So, you know, they get opportunity, more opportunity. I mean, I didn't go dress business, it was the same way when I got it. If I didn't meet Meyer Lasky, I would never be in the dress business. I mean, come on, he got me in. I mean, everybody else had parents, Schwartz, this one, that one, you know. All these different companies, they're the biggest guys. I mean, you know, you just got, right now, you know what I'm telling you.
We're gonna learn about the dress business.
No, it's the same. There is no fucking
Wanna get in
difference.
that business?
There is no difference. The business is exactly, the dress business and that is exactly. Evan Bacone, friend of mine, I mean, he was, you know, you got Nichols is a friend of mine. I know all these guys. I know everyone, and they all hung with me. I'm a pretty wild guy. We all got along. They taught me about this shit. I never thought I'd do it. I did. I ended up doing it. I got lucky. You know, it's all a lot of luck.
We're gonna now continue.
You want to be a tour? I got one for fucking 2 days.
Brilliant, man. We're gonna have you only as the
That's
show.
what we need.
That's what we're
One-man show,
A
year
one-man
round.
show in the future. In the future.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You've answered many questions I'm sure many people have.
I just answered a lot of
The question they didn't have.
Find a field, you make a lot of money, and then they get paid exactly.
I'd love to bring it now over to the festival side, because I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of filmmakers here who are thinking of submitting to festivals. I know many that I talk to personally, a lot of them get rejected from festivals, and they're interested in hearing what really comes into the selection process. What are you looking for? A lot of people think it's mostly genre stuff. A lot of people think it's, it's who you cast in the films. So I'd love to know if you could share, I mean, you both as well, what exactly comes through your selection process when you're looking for new submissions.
Sure. All right, so in terms of festival selections, I mean, I would say there's various components that go into the decision making. But of course, as a film festival, the number one thing you're thinking about, of course, is, serving the film community and presenting the best films you can and providing a venue where you can provide exposure for great films. And, ultimately you want to fill the house, you don't want to have a film screen in front of, 1 or 2 people. Obviously, you want to present films that have an audience. That said, I would say that Most festivals certainly prefer premieres. I think that's definitely a big part of it. I think if you are a filmmaker that has a film that's been completed for a year and a half and has already played, 27 festivals, I think it could become a bit more challenging as time goes on, especially if you've already screened festivals that are in the same region, in the same area. So I think, premieres are always very attractive to festival programmers, I certainly would say. You certainly want films that have a very specific audience. I think films that are sort of more general, sort of more general topics that really don't have a very specific audience or don't really have a cast that has a very specific audience.
Can you give an example of a general topic? Like, what do you mean when you say?
Well, I would say
general?
something, let's say for example, let's say you have a romantic comedy, for example, and none of the cast really has much of an audience, let's just say. But it's, maybe it's a great film, but that's a tough type of film to select because it's hard to market. You really need to be able to have a film that has a specific audience and a target audience that you can really market. When you send out those press releases, you want to be able to say, this is for this audience, and we can certainly try to promote it to this group of people. And if the topic doesn't have a very specific audience, maybe some of the cast members do. Maybe it's a comedy and one of the leads is a well-known stand-up comedian, and you target their audience and you can utilize their social media and things like that. Things that have a fan base. Ultimately festivals are in the film exhibition business, and our goal is to get those films in front of an audience. And I think that certainly is one of the most important things that you think about.
And so should the filmmakers be thinking of that, of what their target audience is?
Yeah, I think that's an important part of when you're deciding which festivals to enter, which festivals to submit to. That's a big part of it. You have filmmakers out there that will just submit their film to everything. And when I made my first film when I was in my early 20s, I did the same thing. I was just submitting everything. I just wanted to show my movie. But festival submission fees can add up, and it's important to find the festivals that work for you. If you made a horror film, you certainly want to look for those genre type of festivals. If you made a film like The Story of Jacob, maybe Jewish film festivals. You want to find those